HYBE again silence 1,000 languages, but does their silence hold something deeper? BTS's Jin was said to have wanted his solo album, Echo, to be released sooner, but instead received a surprising rejection from his own agency. Is this the beginning of BTS's internal rift? Why is Jin's voice not heard? And is it true that HYBE is now more concerned with other projects than the requests of her own idols? Why is HYBE silent? Why was it that when Jin finally voiced his wishes, not a single official representative of the giant agency spoke up? And most surprisingly, why is the album Echo, which has been eagerly awaited by millions of ARMY around the world, actually held back, not given a way to shine this year? One by one, the questions began to stick out, screeching among the news milling around without confirmation. But can we keep quiet as Jin's voice begins to faint amid the cacophony of agency plans that seem to be sidelining him? Since the news of Jin's return from his mandatory military service was announced, ARMY has been eagerly awaiting the big moment, the release of his full solo album. The album, which was predicted to be the voice of the true soul of the Jin, is now a mystery that makes many people disappointed. Moreover, hot rumors say that Jin personally already voiced his request to speed up the release schedule of the album, but the request was rejected. Rejected. Yeah, the word continues to echo. Rejected by whom? By HYBE. And not just an ordinary delay. Reportedly, Jin requested that the release of the album be done in the middle of this year, given the schedule of promotions and other work that began to accumulate. But HYBE's response was unexpected. They asked to postpone it. Not a month or two, but until next year. What's really going on behind the scenes? Is it just a matter of schedule? Or is there a greater force at play, a force that even a genie is incapable of countering? If it's true that HYBE is trying to reset the priorities of their project, why was Jin's name actually thrown off the top list? Even more surprising, an unnamed internal source said that there was a heated debate between Jin and HYBE executives. Yes, you heard right, not an ordinary discussion, but an internal fuss that leaves a lot of questions. What is disputed? Does Jin feel left out? And most stifling of all, doesn't HYBE see that Jin, with all his dedication to BTS for over a decade, deserves the full clarity and support of his work? Questions began to mount. Why does HYBE look so aggressive in promoting their new artists, but instead passive when it comes to Jin's album release? Is it true that they are more focused on securing new markets than maintaining the loyalty of BTS members who have been the foundation of the agency? The ARMY began to crumble. Hashtags urging the release of Jin's album began to echo on social media. Many feel that something is not right. One tweet went viral. If it wasn't for BTS, who would HYBE be today? Then why is Jin treated like this? The emotions of the fans are getting out of control. They don't need lengthy explanations. They just want one thing: clarity. And in all that silence, Jin, known for his patient and warm personality, looks increasingly moody at every public opportunity. His gaze was uncharacteristic. Her smile is not as bright as it used to be. Is this a sign that the wounds caused by HYBE's treatment are deeper than she can show? Even more heartbreaking, Jin had implied in his previous interview that he had been preparing the concept for his album for a long time. He called Echo a very personal work, full of messages that he wanted to convey to fans after a long silence in the military. But now, instead, the voice seemed to be blocked by a large wall called bureaucracy. Even some of BTS's old staff stated that Jin had high hopes for this album. He wants an honest creative process, the right release time, and the full support of the agency. But the truth is, that support seems to be an empty promise that never gets kept. What is HYBE hiding? Why are they holding back the Echo? Is it because you want to align it with another big project at the end of the year? Or do they feel that Jin's album will not be commercially profitable compared to other projects? If so, where does justice lie for the artist who has built the agency's reputation from day one? And one surprising fact, according to one fan who attended a closed-door event where Jin was briefly present, he was heard saying something that left everyone speechless. "I don't know when you guys will be able to hear these songs. It's not up to me." A simple sentence, but painful. A sentence that seems to confirm that the decision is not in the hands of the artist. HYBE silencing Jin. In HYBE's silence, in the silence that feels suspicious, precisely many things are read. It was as if they were trying to distract themselves. But the army cannot be fooled. They know when something feels unnatural. They know that the genie deserves more than just later, and if there really is a rift between Jin and management, the next question is much more daunting. Could this affect BTS as a group as a whole? Can we imagine BTS with unhappy Jin? With a genie who feels left out? Is this the beginning of a bigger rift? We all hope not. But if HYBE continues to remain silent, continues to delay, continues to avoid questions, then all that remains is speculation and a deep wound in the hearts of the fans. The album Echo is not just music. It is the mirror of the soul of the Jin. And when HYBE held him back, it meant that they also held back Jin's voice, his feelings, and his dedication all along. And now, the whole world is asking, when will HYBE speak? Or do they choose to remain silent for fear of the truth they have to confess? But the most surprising is not only the delay. But how does HYBE, who has been known to maintain her image and relationship with BTS members, actually look like deliberately ignoring the genie? There were small voices starting to emerge from among the old staff, those who had worked closely with Jin in the early days of BTS. Some of them admitted that they did not think about the agency's decision. We know Jin doesn't demand much, but if he has already spoken, it means that the situation is already very urgent. If HYBE does not respond, then there must be something wrong, said a person whose identity was kept secret for security reasons. What makes Jin so want his album to be released sooner? Was it really for schedule reasons, or was there something more personal, more emotional, more urgent he wanted to convey to ARMY? In several previous interviews, Jin had mentioned that the songs on the album Echo are a reflection of his reflective times during his military service. He wanted to show a side that he had not opened much to the public. He wanted to write honestly. He wanted to sing with all his heart and censored. But now, that honesty seems to be frozen by the hands of power. And when fans started demanding an explanation, HYBE disappeared. There is no clarification. There is no press release. There are no official representative interviews. This silence was not only suspicious, it was painful. Because behind all this, there is an artist who has given more than half his life to raising the name of the agency, but when the time comes to reveal his own heart, he is instead treated as if it doesn't matter. Is this a form of injustice that has not been seen? Is Jin no longer a priority because HYBE has been too busy polishing up their new artists? Have the agency's top brass forgotten who made HYBE's name resonate around the world since 2013? This question is not just for HYBE executives. This is also a question that whips the conscience of all of us, who have always believed that the relationship between BTS and their agency is built on respect and mutual support. But is it all just an illusion now? Even Taehyung, Jin's close friend, was seen posting something enigmatic on his social media a few days after rumors of an album delay broke out. A black and white photo of a dark night sky with a caption, "Some truths are louder in silence." Many soldiers associated it with Jin's condition, thinking that the upload was a form of silent solidarity that V wanted to convey. And Jungkook, who is known to have great respect for Jin, reportedly turned down a promotional interview in his new schedule, citing not in the mood to talk much. Is this a form of silent protest from BTS members who are getting fed up with the way their own agency works? This conflict is not just a schedule conflict. It's about identity. The question of who has the right to regulate the expression of an artist on his personal work. And when the agency withholds that right, then all that remains is a silent prison, where the inner voice of an artist is silenced for inhuman strategic reasons. And in the midst of this chaos, comes a shocking report from an insider in the Korean music industry. He said that the album Echo is actually ready for mass production since last March. All the mixing and mastering was done, the visual concept was finalized, and Jin had finished the recording process before he finished his military service. This means that, Technically, there is no justifiable reason to postpone the release of the album. But oddly enough, the release remained postponed. If so, what was HYBE really afraid of? Are they afraid that Jin's album won't live up to market expectations? Or rather, are they afraid that the voice of the genie will open the veil of what is really happening behind the scenes? Imagine if the songs in Echo contained reflective lyrics about freedom being taken away, about the pressures of the industry, about the inner conflict of an idol caught between love for the fans and the commercial demands of the system? Is HYBE trying to avoid the emotional out?